The final verdict. The rise, fall, and truth about Clifton Powell. Breaking news has shaken Hollywood to its core. Reports have surfaced claiming that Clifton Powell's sentence is finally over, but not in the way many expected. And now, people everywhere are asking the same question: was this the end of a career, or the exposure of a truth Hollywood tried to bury? Because when you really look at the story, it's not just about one man. It's about reputation, power, and what happens when the world decides your fate before the truth is even heard. For decades, Clifton Powell was one of those faces you instantly recognized, even if you didn't know his name. From gritty street dramas to unforgettable comedic roles, he built a career that quietly became one of the most consistent in Hollywood. His breakthrough came with Menace to Society, where his raw, grounded performance captured attention almost immediately. It wasn't flashy, it was real, and that's what made people remember him. Then came the Friday films. Here, Powell showed something different. Sharp, comedic timing, charisma, and a presence that made every scene feel alive. He wasn't just acting, he was commanding attention. And just when audiences thought they had him figured out, he shifted again. In Ray, alongside Jamie Foxx, Powell delivered one of his strongest performances, earning industry recognition and proving he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the best. Over the years, he appeared in over 100 films and television projects. Villain, mentor, father figure, comic relief, he did it all, and he did it well. But behind that success, another story was quietly unfolding, a story that wouldn't stay hidden forever. In 2011, everything changed. An accusation surfaced, serious enough to shake any career, let alone one built over decades. The details spread fast. Headlines didn't wait. The media didn't hesitate. Within days, Clifton Powell was no longer just an actor. He was a controversy. According to reports, the case began with an encounter in New Orleans. What was described as consensual later turned into an allegation of misconduct. Powell denied it completely. From the very beginning, he stood firm. He said it wasn't true. He said he would fight it. But in Hollywood, sometimes the accusation is enough. Even though the criminal case didn't move forward due to lack of evidence, the damage had already started. Because this wasn't just about courtrooms, this was about perception. And perception moves faster than facts. The case shifted into civil court, where the rules are different. It's not about proving something beyond doubt. It's about what seems more likely, and for a public figure that can be dangerous, because once doubt enters the public mind, it doesn't leave easily. Over the next several years, Powell found himself trapped, not just legally, but professionally. Roles disappeared, opportunities faded, projects that once welcomed him suddenly went silent. He later revealed that shows he was supposed to appear in cut his role short without explanation. No official statement, no direct reason, just distance. That's how Hollywood works sometimes. Quiet decisions, silent exits, unspoken judgments, and the hardest part, it wasn't just the industry, it was the people. Strangers looked at him differently. Online comments judged him without ever hearing his side. The court of public opinion had already reached its verdict. For 4 years, the case dragged on. 4 years of pressure. 4 years of uncertainty. 4 years of watching everything he built slowly slip away. Then finally, the case was dismissed. No conviction, no proof upheld, no criminal guilt. Legally, he was cleared. But by then, what was left to save? Because here's the reality no one likes to talk about. In Hollywood, being cleared doesn't always mean being restored. Powell walked away from the courtroom without a sentence. But his career? That had already been judged, and that's where the story becomes bigger than one man. Clifton Powell didn't just face legal challenges. He faced something deeper, something that had been shaping his career long before any accusation. Systemic. Bias, colorism, discrimination. He spoke openly about it, about being told he was too dark for certain roles, about losing opportunities, not because of talent, but because of appearance, about an industry that praised him in one moment and limited him in the next. He was often cast as intense, intimidating characters. But when it came to softer roles, romantic leads, emotionally vulnerable parts, doors closed. Not because he couldn't perform them, but because of how he looked. That contradiction followed him everywhere. Celebrated for strength, rejected for sensitivity. And when the allegations surfaced, that perception didn't help. Because audiences had already seen him in darker roles. And sometimes, fiction shapes belief. But the challenges didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, Powell was dealing with personal struggles of his own. He grew up in Southeast Washington, D.C., in an environment where survival wasn't guaranteed. He lost his mother at just 4 years old. His father struggled with alcoholism, and from an early age, life forced him to grow up fast. He made it out, but the scars stayed. As success came, so did pressure. His marriage eventually fell apart, costing him emotionally and financially. He admitted losing millions in the process. And like many in Hollywood, he found himself surrounded by distractions, gambling, unreliable friends, temporary relationships. He later admitted that he wasn't present enough for his children. That work consumed him. That success came at a cost he didn't fully understand. At the time, and when everything started collapsing, career, reputation, personal life, it all hit at once. That's the part most people don't see. The human side, the part behind the headlines. Because it's easy to judge a story when you only hear pieces of it. It's harder when you see the full picture. Today, Clifton Powell's story stands as a reminder of something uncomfortable but real. Sometimes the biggest punishment isn't a legal sentence. It's what happens outside the courtroom. A reputation damaged, a career paused, a name forever tied to controversy, even without proof. So when people say his sentence is final, maybe they're not talking about the law. Maybe they're talking about something much harder to escape. The way the world sees you. Because once that changes, everything changes. And the question still remains, did Hollywood lose Clifton Powell, or did it fail him? That's for you to decide.